The best time to plan your next quarter in business is right at the tail end of the previous quarter because it allows you to see your current results and make informed decisions about where you want to go in the next quarter in your business. The second best time is now, because I know most of y'all already missed that deadline. Hey bosses, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lavelle and I'm an online project manager. And in this YouTube space, my goal is to help you to love Mondays in your business again. Now, this is video number 2 in a series called Plan Your Year with Me. In this video, we're going to talk about quarterly planning. If you missed the first video though, make sure you go back and check it out because that's the foundation for getting into quarterly planning. In order to begin quarterly planning in your business, you would need to have set like your annual goals for the entire year so that you can get back into this space, because when you're looking at your quarters, you're looking at more focused goals. Because what we're not about to do is have like 10 million goals that we're working on for the entire year. We don't do that over here. We don't do burnout, busy, overwhelmed, not in this space, right? The thing that I want you to do is focus. The habit that I'm trying to get you to build in your business this year and for the future of your business is intentional planning. All right. So this is all about quarterly planning. If you missed the first video, go back and check that out before you get into this one, because you're going to need some of those foundational pieces to move forward with your quarterly planning for your business. All right. In the first video, we set our bag, which is our business annual goals. So in this video, we're going to talk about what it is that we're going into for quarter 2 and which goal that we're going to work on. So there are a couple things that you are going to need before you start getting into the exercise. Because you know me, I'm going to do a video where you're not going to be sitting and listening to me talk, right? You're actually about to get some work done. So if you have not time blocked your 60 minutes of planning for your business, I need you to hit save later, save for watch later. Time block your 60 minutes so that you can dedicate time to actually planning your business, and then come back and hit play, and then we'll get into it, okay? So here's what I need you to grab if you are ready to get into this quarterly planning space. The things that I need you to grab, I'm going to need you to get some data because it's going to make sense. In order for you to plan your next quarter, you need to have data from that previous quarter. The other thing I'm going to need you to get is some water, some coffee, whatever it is that you need to stay in that business mode once you get started in planning. Your entrepreneur planner, if you have one. I have mine here, and like I said in the last video, this is the new design, and I have this linked in the description. But if you have a quarterly planner, bring it. If you don't have one, it's okay. I'm gonna still tell you what it is that you need to do so that you can plan your quarters. The last thing that you need, or you might need, but I always have, is my candle, because this always gets me into my business. It's a little hot. This gets me into my business mode for my business. I always light this candle every time I'm going to work on like my business or journaling, because it gets me into the mode and reminds me of, getting into that mode of working and thinking about my business. All right. So I'm going to pause here if you still need to grab some things, and then we're going to get into how to plan your quarters in business. All right, now that you have grabbed all of the things that you need, here's the first thing that you're going to do when you get into this quarterly planning session. The first thing that I want you to do is I want you to have a bit of time for reflection. And reflection is looking at what happened or what did I do in my first quarter and where am I at with the goals that I set, right? If you have this entrepreneur planner, you would have already been doing like weekly reflections. So this time you might not need as much time for this part because you've already been doing that. So now it's just a summary of what did I do during my time for the first quarter and how close am I, or have I accomplished the goal that I was trying to accomplish. If you did not have, or if you did not do like weekly journaling or reflection in your business, now is the time to think about all of the things that you've done throughout your Q1 and how much closer you are to your goal. So I'm going to put a little bit of a guideline here so that you can kind of have some frameworks for some questions that you should be thinking about as you are doing your reflection time in your business. All right, so now that you've done that reflection, here's the next step in planning your quarter in your business. The next thing that you need to be paying attention to now is, am I going to continue to work on this goal that I've had in Q1 because I've not actually made the goal? Or am I going to start a new goal? Because remember, at the top of the year, we said we're going to work on 4 goals. If you've accomplished your first goal, great. It's time to move on to the next goal. If you have not accomplished your first goal and you're doubling down on it in Q2, then great. Then you need to determine what is that strategy, what are those action steps, what are the things that you need to do in Q2 that are going to take you closer to your goal. Now, all right, if you are not focused on the same goal that you were in the first quarter, you're probably going to start a new goal. So what you're going to do is, if you have your entrepreneur planner, go back to the 5 goals that you picked at the top of the year, and you're going to pick the next goal that you're going to work on, making sure that your goal is smart, because we said we're going to make sure these goals are smart when you're supposed to do that in the first video. And you're going to pull that smart goal that you have into Q2 section, right? So now Q2, this is the goal that you're going to work on. And now you're going to identify what's the strategy that's going to get me to this new goal that I'm starting to work on, right? So you're going to develop that in this section. Then you're going to develop the action items and the steps that you need to actually hit that goal, right? Or implement that strategy, whatever it is that you need to do to get you closer to this new goal that you're working on, right? So if you are working, or you're continuing to work on your goal that you set in the first quarter, you're going to just come into your planner and go and develop the strategies that you're going to use in Q2. Now, you may be using the same strategy that you did in Q1 because it was working great. You just didn't hit the goal. So now it's about doubling down on that strategy to get what it is that you're trying to get in this quarter, right? So you just make sure in your planner section, you put you're still working on the same goal that you were working on in Q1, your new strategies, or if you're continuing to use the same strategy, and then what are the action items or action steps that you need to take in this quarter that's going to get you closer to your goal. All right. I think one of the things that I realized as I was working in my planner this year, because this is the first time that I've actually done this planner, one of the things that I realized I'm going to need to do in the version 2 of this planner is create more space for the action items, because your girl, she had a list of action items that were like off the page. What I did is I just used the note sections to add my additional action items. You can just get a sheet of paper and put it in there, and or use some of the weekly journal sections, because there's extra weekly journal pages in there if you find like you're like me and you run out of space for your action items. The thing that I talked about in the previous video, which we're also going to do in this session, is taking those action items that you're setting and plugging them into your online project management tool, right? So there's the second step. That's why you need the whole 60 minutes for your quarterly planning, right? There's a second step of getting these things on your calendar, or getting these things in your online project management tool, whatever it is that you're using to actually drive or pay attention to the tasks that you're doing in your business. You're taking them from this session, this activity, this book, wherever you're putting them, and you're dropping them into your project management tool or your online plan, or whatever it is that you use to keep yourself on track or keep yourself accountable to the things that you're working on. That's part of this session as well. So after you have identified what the strategies are that you're going to work on, add all your action items, add all those tasks into your online tool. Set dates, because we're not just out here like dropping random tasks. Set dates, right, for when you're going to accomplish them. And again, going back to this blocking time off so that every week you're checking in. If every week sounds like too much for you, fine. Bi-weekly. But make sure that you are checking in and not waiting until the end of the quarter to figure out whether or not you've actually accomplished your goal. If you're only figuring that out at the end of the quarter, you're too late. Right? You should be doing that intentional planning, intentional setting, intentional strategies throughout the quarter to make sure that you are accomplishing the goal that you said that you want for this year. Take some time now to identify the strategy and action items that you're going to use to get you towards that goal that you're working on in this next quarter in your business. So our quarterly planning session is all done. Now it's time to take those notes, those action items, those strategies, and plug them into your online tool. And I will see you in the next video.